Black Clover's magical world is full of strong mages, and it's always been a kind of general definition of strength. Those with a lot of magic were strong, and those without any magic like Asta were deemed as weak. There was a wrench thrown into things during the Reincarnation arc in which elves were made more powerful because they had a greater relationship with mana. Now what is mana? Mana is the form of an energy that exists in nature as well as within people. It is the source of all magic. Mana is an important aspect of every mage that has ever lived, as it is their source of magical powers which is used to cast magical spells. This energy is naturally existing and flowing in the environment and within everyone. Due to this, it is a common knowledge that everyone is able to use magic to some extent. Individuals born with strong affinity of mana and with exceptional magic power are said to be loved by mana. At the same time, people who do not possess any mana and are unable to use magic at all are an extremely rare occurrence and are said to be hated by mana.
Grimmoire が来ないんすけど。
There's also a kind of mana which is called as negative mana. Mana from the Underworlds is called as negative mana in the living world due to its more sinister quality. This mana boosts the powers and the capabilities of magic but carries the risk of corrupting the bodies, souls and the magic of both user and the victim alike. Thus its usage is classified as forbidden magic. The magic stones have a connection to the underworld so that they can be used to draw in negative mana in order to amplify spells. Furthermore, when someone uses all of their mana, it could cause them severe exhaustion, render them unconscious, and in extreme cases lead to their death. In nature, the density of mana can be different from place to place. Locations with strong mana can have unusual climates, such as Raku, which is warm all the year and is used as a beach resort. Locations with extremely high densities of mana, such as dungeons and grand magic zones, are known to have radically distorted and hazardous environments and are thus very difficult to navigate safely. Magic is the refinement or application of magic powers to perform a specific function or a spell. There are three ways that a mage can develop their magical abilities: natural talent, hard work, and experiencing a life or death situation. Upon turning 15 years old, any kid in their world can attend an annual ceremony where they will receive a special book known as Grimmoire. This book enhances the user's magical abilities and gives them the ability to cast specific spells that are far in advance in their own natural magical abilities. At first, a Grimmoire is mostly empty, but as the user grows as a person, new spells are inscribed on the blank pages. When a new spell appears on the Grimmoire, it corresponds to the situation that causes the mage's personal development. For example, Gosh acquires a new spell that allows him to make duplicates of other people because he learns to trust someone after years of only having faith in himself. Grimoires of mages from the Clover, Diamond, Heart and Spade kingdoms have Clover, Diamond, Heart and Spade insignias respectively on their front covers. In the case of Clover Kingdom, a Grimoire with the 3 leaves clover is common, while a Grimoire with a 4-leaf clover is very rare. It is said that 4-leaf clover Grimoire brings good luck and is only received by a truly exceptional mage. When the owner of 4-leaf clover Grimoire falls into absolute despair, the book is corrupted by its owner's deep despair and hatred, becoming what is known as Grimoire of Despair. During this process, the cover of the Grimoire turns into a dark color and clover turns black and develops a 5th leaf. These 5 leaves clover Grimoire can be taken and possessed by devils, who uses these books to manifest their true powers. Unlike ordinary Grimoires, a 5-leaf clover Grimoire does not disintegrate upon its own death. Instead, it goes dormant until a new compatible user is born and comes of age. The names and the nature of the mage's spell often follows a theme. For example, Magna Swing uses spells that bears a strong likeness to baseball. After getting introduced to the Grimoires and what is exactly mana, now we are going to look at different magic forms. Spells can be categorized as one of the numbers of different forms of magic. The classification is dependent on the spell's function. There are 17 forms of magic overall in Black Clover, and each is used in notably different manners. Even those who use the same form can apply its traits differently. as the application of any spell depends on the wisdom of the caster as well as the skills. Certain spells can even be unique to an individual, making them truly special. The grimoires of respective people practicing their craft will eventually become full of spells as they will grow in power, defining who they are as a mage. Let's take a look at those different 17 forms and how they work really quick. 17th form is Anti-Magic. Most known for being used by Asta, Anti-Magic can be considered the inverse of almost all kinds of magic. Use of it can nullify incoming spells, penetrate magic barriers, as well as even deactivate magical traps and curses. This form of magic is best implemented when used in conjunction with certain items, like the sword in Asta's Black Clover Grimmoire. The 16th form is Barrier Magic. Purely defensive forms of magic are relatively unique in that they don't require specific spells or even a grimoire. However, spells born from a grimoire can make barrier magic significantly more powerful. By utilizing specific orb-like tools, multiple mages can work together to weave a much greater magical barrier than otherwise impossible. On the 15th number, the form is Communication Magic, a broad term that encompasses all kinds of long-range magic that transmit auditory and visual information. One can think of communication magic as using a cell phone or performing a video call. Skilled mages can imbue tools and devices so that those not capable of using this form of magic can use them to interact over the great distances. On the 14th number, the form is Compound Magic. While not truly a form of magic on its own, Compound Magic is more like a technique that combines different forms of magic together to create a very powerful new spell. This displays aspects of all different kinds of magic being combined, as it is the most common way for mages of different magic forms and types to merge in their might. The 13th form is Creation Magic, the most common and versatile form of magic. Creation Magic offers nearly infinite possibilities for mages to bring forth creatures and allies composed of their mana. Such spells can create dragons made of water, hawks made of wind, and other non-sentient element beings whose potential are only limited to a mage's imagination and skills. On the 12th number, the form is Curse Magic, a tactic for those wishing to inflict genius harm on targets. Curse magic revolves around afflicting others with negative health effects. These can be minor illness, serious diseases, or even eternal doom. This form of magic is the one that pertains specifically to hurting humans, as magical creatures and elves are not affected by the same curse magic spells. The 11th form is Forbidden Magic. Born from the negative mana of the Underworld, Forbidden Magic is a wide umbrella term for forms of magic that originate from the realm of devils, and spells in this classification are not bound by any normal restrictions, making them exceptionally more powerful. Healing can regenerate whole limbs, human forms can be twisted permanently, and curses can be incurable. On the 10th number, the form is Healing Magic. Users of this form of magic can heal wounds, however, the capacity to aid the injured is limited. Lost limbs cannot be regrown, though severe ones can be reattached and healed to great effect. Death cannot be reversed either. Therefore, healing magic is only useful at the times injuries occur or while the target is still breathing. On the 9th number, the form is Reincarnation Magic. Immensely powerful magic that can bring the death back to life or prevent a target from dying. While this form of magic sometimes gets classified as forbidden magic, it stands on its own as being able to manipulate the souls of living creatures and may not actually have origin in the underworld, like other forbidden magic spells. On the 8th number, the form is Reinforcement Form. Used almost exclusively to enhance physical properties of the human body, reinforcement magic allows the mages to increase the strength or speed of their various limbs or their entire body. One can even cast spells on nature onto allies to buff their hand-to-hand combat prowess or grant many other battlefield boons. The 7th form is Restraining Magic. Primarily functions as the way of mages to disable and bind their enemies, Restraining Magic is a versatile way to immobilize threats. Not only can such spells physically tie down a foe, but they can also restrict a target's use of magic. Restraining magic often takes the form of bubbles that traps targets or chains and ropes whichever snares them. The 6th form of magic is Seal Magic. While this form of magic overlaps a bit with Restraining Magic, Seal Magic is exclusively used to contain an enemy mage's magical powers. Spells of this nature prevents the target from using spells for either a short period of time or over a very long amount of time, depending on the intent of the caster. On the 5th number, the form is Spirit Magic. Vastly different from Creation Magic, despite similar appearances, Spirit Magic encompasses spells that allows a mage to summon a sentient element being from their Grimmoire. This ability to call upon one of the 4 greatest element spirits of the world is considered as undeniable sign of magical strength and offers incredible power boost. The 4th form is Transformation Magic. This form of magic may not have a huge combat potential, however can be used in a plethora of subversive or comical ways. Transformation Magic allows a mage to change into the shape of another human, regardless of age, gender and other physical differences. Exceptionally skilled mages can even change the shape of others with such spells. And on the 3rd number, the form is Trap Magic. Trap magic, as it sounds, is a manner in which mages can place magical circles imbued with mana upon all the ground, wall or even mid-air. These magical circles becomes invisible to all except the caster after being drawn and requires the user to prime them ahead of time. Trap magic can do a lot of things, like snare victims with other forms of magic including restraining and seal magic, reverse incoming spells and many more things. On the 2nd number, the form is Unite Magic. Unite Magic is a special form that can be only used by mages who have a contract with Devil. An equal contract requires a mage and their devil partner to synchronize thoughts, while a master-servant contract lets the mage use their servant devil's powers however they please. In this manner, one can take on the appearance and immense magical powers of a devil. And the first and the last form of magic is Weakening Magic. The inverse of Reinforcement Magic is Weakening Magic. Mages who wish to debilitate the physical prowess of the foes can use spells in the form of Weakening Magic. This is ideally used on enemies who have impressive strength and speed in order to even the odds. Thus, affected by this form of magic are only inhibited as long as the spell remains active and don't often suffer long-term effects. So that was all about the 17 different forms of magic. Now let's move towards magic attribution. Unlike mana that exists in nature, the mana that is suited within the mages have a specific nature to it, known as an attribute, or in Japanese, zokusei. These attributes are one of the aspects that differentiate one mage from another. The attribute that a mage possesses is the one that they are born with. There are 4 major elements in this world: fire, water, wind and earth. All of these magical attributes are derived from these 4. For example, smoke magic is the branch of wind attribute, and ice magic is the branch of water attribute. Over the centuries, some cultures have developed unnatural and irregular magic attributes like chain, steel, spatial and time. Some magic attributes are very common, such as fire, water, whereas some other magical attributes are exceptionally rare, such as light and space. A mage can only have one magic attribute and are unable to use magic of any other nature. For example, a mage who was born with the attribute of fire is unable to use spells from other types of magic such as wind or water. While the average mage cannot use multiple attributes, there is nothing stopping them from using their own attribute to perform different forms of magic, such as wind-based creation magic or fire-based healing magic. The average mage normally uses only 1 or 2 forms of magic, but incredibly powerful mages can use multiple magic forms without a problem. Then there are also some exceptions to the people who can use not only one attribute but multiple attributes too. While the average person can only use one attribute, someone who is born with a hybrid of 2 different races could be born with a second magic attribute too. An example of this is Charmy Pappetson, a dwarf human hybrid who possesses both cotton magic and food magic. On unique occasions, it has been proven through scientific endeavors that a mage could be artificially enhanced to possess more than one attribute. Successful byproduct of these experiments are Mars and Fana, who shares each other's crystal magic and fire magic. The amount of mana and the mage possesses within them has a huge significance. It is because the fundamental strength of a mage is measured through it. When a mage possesses a high amount of mana, any task which involves the use of magic would become easier. Additionally, mages with a high amount of mana have a higher chance of accessing high-level magic spells rather than mages with a low amount of mana. As a mage ages, their body grows weaker and their ability to internally generate magic powers will gradually decline. This loss in power can be offset by increasing their control of external mana through techniques like mana zone and mana method. There's also a concept called as magic stages. A mage's magical powers and skills can be ranked on a 10 level scale, referred to as magical stages, with stage 0 being the highest and stage 9 as the lowest. The idea behind magic stages is that a single high level mage is worth more on the battlefield than many low level mages. Mages with magic that defies standard conventions such as Sacred's corrupted sealing magic and Asta's anti-magic are considered as arcane stage and are effective in combat and defeating devils. Additionally, spirit magic users with offensive spells are capable of attaining saint stage, which purifies malice and destroys devils. This system of measurement is initially used by Heart Kingdom exclusively. However, 6 months later, after a formation of Clover Heart Alliance, the usage of magic stages has been adopted by Clover Kingdom's Magic Knights as well. But the Spade Kingdom also uses this system too. And there's also one important thing that everyone should know is that magical powers does not always depend on the hard work. Mages born of noble lineage are very likely to possess a very high level of magical powers, while mages born in commoner lineage are likely to possess low magical powers. This is due to the magic behind a hereditary trait. It is not an absolute rule, however, as even a noble born from two powerful mages could be born with a little magic power, and a commoner born from two weak mages could be born with a high magic power too. These are the small details in the magic system that makes this power system as one of the most criminally underrated power systems of all time. And I think that wraps up about today's video, guys. That's for today's video about the Black Clover's power system. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I post daily anime content about top 10 top 5 listings, anime reviews, recommendations, news, theories, and all sorts of anime content on daily basis. So if you enjoyed, please subscribe, and that was it. And I will see you in the next one. Sayonara.